Welcome to District Command Central, your go-to source for the latest news and updates on the Washington Commanders. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a play. Every summer, as the Washington Commanders gear up for another NFL season, there's a familiar script that plays out during training camp. Veterans take their reps, rookies try to learn the system, and somewhere in the background, an underdog begins to emerge. This year, that underdog is Jakori Brooks, an undrafted wide receiver out of Louisville who has capitalized on Terry McLaurin's absence with a string of eye-opening performances. Every catch in traffic, every sharp route, every rep in 7-on-7s, they all count when you're trying to make a 53-man roster. And while most of the media is busy covering the McLaurin contract storyline, Brooks is quietly building a real case to stick around. It's still early, but there's something about his confidence and the way he attacks each rep that stands out. His name might not be on the marquee yet, but he's starting to etch it into fans' memories, just like a few other forgotten training camp legends once did. Let's rewind to 2012, when a relatively unknown running back named Alfred Morris was just trying to make the team. Drafted in the 6th round out of Florida Atlantic, Morris wasn't expected to be much more than camp depth. But with every practice, he clawed his way up the depth chart, eventually passing more established backs like Roy Helu, Tim Hightower, and Evan Royster. Then came preseason, where he continued to shine, showing vision, power, and a quiet determination that quickly made him a fan favorite. By the time week 1 rolled around, Morris wasn't just on the roster. He was the starter. What followed was a historic rookie campaign, 1,613 rushing yards and 13 touchdowns. Good enough for second-team All-Pro honors. It's the kind of breakout that turns a no-name into a franchise pillar. And it all started in the sweltering heat of Ashburn when few believed, but Morris made everyone believe fast. Cam Sims' story is a little different, but no less emblematic of the training camp folklore that follows this team. In 2018, he arrived as an undrafted rookie out of Alabama, a tall, rangy receiver who turned heads immediately with his athleticism and playmaking in one-on-one drills. He made so much noise in camp that many expected him to contribute immediately. Unfortunately, the real season rarely aligned with the summer hype. Sims bounced around on the depth chart, in and out of the active roster, but he never gave up. Year after year, he returned to camp and impressed all over again, becoming something of a preseason legend. His best season came in 2020 when he posted 427 receiving yards and scored his first NFL touchdown. He was never a star, but his grit and persistence made him a beloved figure among fans who appreciate the grind. Sims was the kind of player who always made you hope he'd take the next step. If you were around in the summer of 2019, you remember the Jimmy Moreland hype train. It wasn't just fans. Teammates and coaches couldn't stop raving about the rookie corner out of James Madison. A 7th-round pick with a knack for the ball, Moreland was everywhere in camp, breaking up passes, jumping routes, even taking interceptions to the house during scrimmages. He had that infectious energy that coaches love and fans gravitate toward. Many thought Washington had found a true gem, a steal who could anchor the secondary for years. While his regular season never quite matched the buzz, Moreland did carve out a role on the defense, playing significant snaps over 2 seasons before injuries and roster churn derailed his momentum. He may not have become a Pro Bowler, but for one magical summer he was the talk of Ashburn, and his name still sparks nostalgia among fans who remember that exciting camp stretch. Fast forward to 2023, and another wide receiver grabbed the spotlight. In a similar way, Bryson Tremaine, undrafted out of Stanford, wasn't supposed to make headlines. But when the pads came on, so did Tremaine's game. He showed an ability to high point the football, beat corners on deep balls, and block like a veteran in running drills. Every time the team posted training camp highlights, there was Tremaine making a play. The fans noticed, the coaches noticed, but unfortunately the numbers game at wide receiver proved too steep. He didn't make the 53-man roster, but Washington kept him on the practice squad, showing they still believed in his potential. Now with the Carolina Panthers, Tremaine is hoping for another chance. He's a perfect example of how training camp can create names that fade from public view, but never leave the memories of die-hard fans. It's all part of the beauty and heartbreak of the NFL's proving grounds. Then there's Tyler Owens, the most recent addition to this lineage of forgotten preseason heroes. An undrafted safety out of Texas Tech, Owens brought speed, aggression, and a special teams mentality that made him stand out immediately. In 2024, he did what so many camp darlings hope to do. He made the roster. Owens played in 12 games, mostly on special teams, but showed flashes of the player he could become with more opportunity. Sadly, a mid-season injury cut short his momentum, and with new rookies coming in every year, the road back won't be easy. Still, Owens is another name fans will remember when they think of camp warriors who earned everything they got. His story isn't over, but the lesson remains clear. Every summer, the NFL writes dozens of mini-dramas, and guys like Owens remind us why we watch even the deepest corners of the depth chart with such interest. Jakori Brooks seems to be next in line for this unofficial honor, and you can see why. He's not the biggest name, nor the highest pick, but when the team lines up for 11 on 11, he keeps making plays. In one camp practice, he skied over a defender for a deep grab. In another, he shook off tight coverage for a red zone touchdown. He's earning reps with the second team and inching closer to getting a real shot with the starters. More importantly, he's earning the trust of coaches and quarterbacks, an invaluable currency in this business. Every time McLaurin sits, Brooks makes his case a little louder. The odds are still long, but if we've learned anything from Commanders history, is that training camp magic has a funny way of turning long shots into household names. Brooks isn't just running routes, he's running toward a dream that seems more realistic by the day. Of course, the flip side of these feel-good stories is the reality that many of them don't last. For every Alfred Morris who becomes a star, there's a Bryson Tremaine who flashes briefly before fading into obscurity. It's part of what makes training camp so intoxicating and so cruel. The highs are sky high, but the lows come fast and hard. Roster cuts loom like storm clouds, and even a spectacular August isn't always enough to survive the September trim. Still, for players like Brooks, it's not about the odds. It's about the opportunity. They come to camp believing they can change their lives in a month, and sometimes that belief is all it takes. Coaches love to see players rise above expectations, and front offices are always on the lookout for cheap, high-upside talent. Every play matters. Every rep is a chance. And sometimes, that's all a player like Brooks needs to make the impossible happen. Darn. Fans, for their part, are often the first to spot these emerging stories. They follow every beat reporter's tweet, dissect every video clip from practice, and develop cult favorites long before the coaches finalize the roster. It's part of the unique culture surrounding the NFL preseason. Some fans still rock Alfred Morris jerseys. Others bring up Jimmy Moreland whenever a late-round DB makes a play. The stories get passed down like folklore, reminders that greatness can come from anywhere. Jakori Brooks could very well be the next name in that lineage, a player who was overlooked on draft day but refuses to be ignored now. And even if he doesn't make the roster, he's already earned a spot in the hearts of fans who love an underdog. Because when you show up, put in the work, and turn heads in camp, you're part of something bigger. You become one of the legends of Ashburn, if only for a fleeting moment. So, as training camp rolls on and the preseason approaches, keep your eyes on number 85. Jakori Brooks might not be a lock to make the team, but he's certainly forcing a conversation. And if he makes a big play in one of those nationally televised preseason games, forget it, the buzz will only grow. Brooks joins a long, proud tradition of players who used August to make their mark, if not always their career. In a league built on parity and constant turnover, the preseason is one of the few times hope feels infinite. Coaches are watching, fans are dreaming, and somewhere on those Ashburn practice fields, another name is being written into Commanders lore. For now, that name is Brooks. Will it still be on the roster in September? Time will tell. But whether he becomes a star or a footnote, his story, like so many before him, will remain part of the rich, often bittersweet history of Washington's training camp legends. If you're enjoying the coverage, make sure to smash that like button and drop a comment with your thoughts on the Commanders' latest moves. We want to hear from you. Whispers are swirling around the NFL community as rumors grow louder out of Washington. Defensive tackle Jonathan Allen, a cornerstone of the Commanders' defense, has allegedly expressed serious discontent behind closed doors. And the cause of this unrest is none other than rookie quarterback JAYDEN Daniels. While nothing has been made public officially, multiple league insiders are now suggesting that Allen may have outright refused to suit up for the Commanders if Daniels is a starting quarterback going forward. It's a storyline that feels straight out of a sports drama. A veteran stalwart, frustrated after years of mediocrity, watching as the franchise turns to an unproven rookie with flashy skills and sky-high expectations. Allen, known for his intensity and no-nonsense demeanor, reportedly feels the team's direction under Daniels lacks the leadership, toughness, and focus required to transform Washington into a serious contender. And this isn't just about football. It's personal, emotional, and possibly irreversible. Sources close to the situation hint that Allen's frustration began building during training camp, where JAYDEN Daniels reportedly struggled to earn the respect of the locker room veterans. Though Daniels brings elite speed and a Heisman Trophy pedigree to the NFL, some within the organization feel he's being handed the keys to the franchise too quickly. Allen, who has seen regime changes, coaching carousel rides, and quarterback experiments fail time and again, appears to have drawn a line in the sand. Reports suggest Allen has voiced his doubts about Daniels' readiness during closed-door meetings, stating that he won't waste another season playing babysitter to another project quarterback. The tension reportedly escalated after a heated interaction during a team scrimmage, where Allen allegedly confronted Daniels about missed reads and poor decision-making. While the coaching staff tried to brush it off as competitive fire, insiders claim it was a breaking point, a moment where Allen's disillusionment took root. JAYDEN Daniels, for his part, remains composed in public, deflecting questions about team chemistry and focusing on what he calls earning it every day. But behind the scenes, the vibe is anything but harmonious. Veteran leaders within the Commanders' locker room are reportedly taking sides, with some rallying around Allen's sense of urgency and others urging patience with the rookie. The fracture is subtle but noticeable, insiders say, especially among the defensive unit, where Allen's voice carries immense weight. While head coach Dan Quinn has publicly supported Daniels, saying the team is 100% committed to his development, there's growing concern that this internal tension could explode once the regular season begins. If Allen is truly refusing to play with Daniels, it places the franchise in an impossible position. Risk alienating a defensive cornerstone or stunting the development of a potential franchise quarterback. Either way, the locker room is clearly walking on eggshells. Allen's situation is reminiscent of other high-profile NFL standoffs, where star players clash with front office decisions and draw battle lines that alter team chemistry for good. Think of Aaron Rodgers challenging the Packers' direction, or Russell Wilson's silent frustrations in Seattle. Except Allen isn't a quarterback, and that makes his refusal even more jarring. Defensive leaders typically hold the line, weathering transitions and leading by example. But Allen's apparent stance represents a rare and powerful protest, one that speaks to years of disappointment and unmet expectations. After multiple losing seasons and constant instability, Allen may feel the franchise is simply repeating the same mistakes. This time with a quarterback he doesn't believe in, whether it's Daniels' body language, leadership style, or perceived lack of readiness. Allen seems convinced the Commanders are heading toward another lost season. And if the rumor is true, he wants no part of it, even if that means sitting out. The Commanders' front office, led by GM Adam Peters, is now facing one of the most delicate personnel challenges in recent team history. On one side, there's the promise and potential of JAYDEN Daniels, a dynamic quarterback with the mobility and arm talent to electrify fans and potentially change the trajectory of the franchise. On the other side stands Jonathan Allen, a battle-tested warrior who bleeds burgundy and gold, a player who's anchored the defensive line through thick and thin. Navigating this standoff without causing irreparable damage will require political finesse and strong leadership. Rumors suggest the front office is scrambling behind the scenes, holding private meetings with both players in hopes of mending the rift. However, With Allen reportedly standing firm in his position and Daniels remaining the face of the team's future, there's growing speculation that a trade or release may become inevitable. It's a classic case of immovable object versus irresistible force. Complicating matters is the message this sends to the rest of the locker room. If Allen is allowed to essentially veto a quarterback by refusing to play, it sets a dangerous precedent for player authority overriding coaching and management decisions. However, if the team chooses to stand by Daniels and forces Allen's hand, they risk alienating not only a beloved leader, but also other veterans who may quietly agree with Allen's stance. It's a high-stakes chess match, and every move is being closely watched by players, fans, and media alike. Social media has already erupted with speculation, with some fans siding with Allen's no-nonsense approach and others demanding patience with the rookie signal caller. And while the Commanders have tried to keep everything in-house, leaks continue to trickle out, painting a picture of a fractured locker room and a growing leadership crisis. The off-season drama, once centered on draft picks and new beginnings, has now shifted to internal warfare. Adding more fuel to the fire is the growing suspicion that Allen's frustrations go beyond just JAYDEN Daniels. Some believe this latest issue is merely the tipping point in a long list of grievances, including questionable front office decisions, coaching inconsistencies, and a losing culture that's worn down even the most loyal players. Allen has long been known as the heart and soul of the defense, but there's a sense that his patience has simply run out. Even during interviews last season, Allen made veiled comments about wanting to win now and not tolerating mediocrity. Comments that seem prophetic in hindsight. If Daniels struggles out of the gate and Allen sits out or becomes a vocal distraction, it could turn into a full-blown media circus. The Commanders, who were hoping for a fresh start under new leadership and a franchise quarterback, now face a storm of controversy that could derail everything before Week 1 even kicks off. Some analysts believe this rumored standoff may result in a surprise trade before the season starts. With Allen's value still high and several contending teams in need of a dominant interior lineman, whispers about possible trade partners are already circulating. Teams like the Chicago Bears, Detroit Lions, or even the Baltimore Ravens could make a move if the Commanders decide it's time to turn the page. On the flip side, letting go of Allen would send shockwaves through the locker room and fan base alike, possibly damaging morale just as a new era is set to begin. Meanwhile, JAYDEN Daniels has stayed professional, but the pressure is mounting. If he struggles in preseason or shows signs of being overwhelmed, the calls for a veteran starter will only grow louder. And if Allen's absence becomes public knowledge, it will fuel the narrative that Daniels has already lost the locker room before taking a single meaningful snap. All eyes will be on the Commanders' first few preseason games, as they'll offer a glimpse into the team's internal chemistry. Will Jonathan Allen be on the sidelines, suited up and engaged, or will he be mysteriously absent, adding more credibility to the swirling rumors? And how will Daniels perform under the spotlight, knowing that his mere presence may be driving a wedge into the team's veteran core? These are questions that Commanders fans on the entire NFL world are dying to see answered. One thing is certain, this situation has gone beyond football. It's now a test of culture, leadership, and vision. Can a team truly unify behind a rookie quarterback while a defensive star appears to boycott the movement? Or is this the beginning of yet another failed era for a franchise desperately seeking relevance? Whatever happens next, it's clear that this story is far from over and may only be getting started. In the unpredictable world of the NFL, where egos clash and careers hang in the balance, this rumored standoff between Jonathan Allen and JAYDEN Daniels could become one of the defining stories of the 2025 season. Will cooler heads prevail, or will pride and principle tear apart a team before it even has a chance to compete? The Commanders, for better or worse, are now center stage in the league's ongoing drama. Allen's alleged refusal to play with Daniels isn't just about one game or one quarterback. It's about a player's belief in what winning truly looks like. And if that belief no longer aligns with the direction of the team, something has to give. Whether that means a blockbuster trade, a shocking benching, or a dramatic reconciliation remains to be seen. But one thing is undeniable. In Washington, football isn't just a game this year. It's a battleground of ideals, legacy, and identity. Thanks for tuning into District Command Central. Make sure to subscribe and follow us for all the Commanders news you need. Until next time, keep the faith and hail to the Commanders.